Hello, Cúd Míle Fáilte. That's Irish for 100,000 welcomes. To here, Old Tavern Farm. Today I'm celebrating a beautiful streak of fine weather where I can actually be outside in my shirt sleeves and enjoy my campfire. And I'm also preparing for one of my favorite holidays, which is just around the corner, St. Patrick's Day. Along with German, French, and English, I have a bucket load of Irish blood. Sometimes it gets me in trouble, but most of the time it keeps me talking. Here at Old Tavern Farm, we don't celebrate St. Patrick's Day with just green beer. We like all kinds of beer. Just kidding. I like to make a traditional Irish dinner with corned beef, cabbage, potatoes, and a big fluffy loaf of Irish soda bread. Because it's so beautiful this year, I decided to make my Irish soda bread outside on my campfire. Irish soda bread is super easy to make. It doesn't require any yeast, any proof time. It's like 5 ingredients, mix them together, form a ball, put a cross in it, and bake it. But today, I'm going to show you how to make your own Irish soda bread without even turning on your oven. Okay. So to my big beautiful bowl here, I'm going to add 5 cups of all-purpose flour. You can use bread flour, you can use what you have. It's fine. This is peasant cooking. There is commonly a loaf of Irish soda bread on every dinner table in every Irish household across the world, usually every day. So this is very simple country food. So don't be too worried. This is a great starter loaf for anybody who's starting to make bread. Okay, so to my bowl, I'm going to add 5 cups of all-purpose flour, a tablespoon of baking soda, and 2 teaspoons of salt. That's all you got. I'm just gonna whisk them up a little bit so they kind of fold in together. All right. Okay. Now, the other ingredient, I know, it's like, what, 4 ingredients? I got my recipe over here. Yep. Buttermilk. You can also make buttermilk by putting 2 tablespoons of vinegar or lemon juice into 2.5 cups of whole milk, or 2% or whatever you have. You can even use cream if you have it. You're just trying to add that acidic quality to the baking soda. So this is a quick bread, so you're adding, if you remember, I'll put it in the notes, in the info card section. If you remember back with buttermilk biscuits and also muffins, they are quick bread. This is a quick bread. So you take the dry and the wet and you mix them separately and you add them together and then proceed. So, so I'm using buttermilk, and it's a chemical muffin. This is a muffin method, quick bread method. So you are using the chemical reaction between the buttermilk and the baking soda to make your loaf rise. Okay, so that's the complicated baker speak, about like how this loaf actually forms. This is why everybody has it, because it's super easy. So I've got buttermilk today, so I'm gonna add 2. I love to bake, excuse me, with buttermilk. It adds a really nice tang to whatever I'm making. And there's just something, you can make your own buttermilk, your own sour milk by what I just said, but there's just something special about buttermilk. Okay, so I'm gonna pour that right into my bowl, and I'm gonna jump over here to my utensil area and grab a couple of different weapons. So I have like a long skinny wooden spoon, and I've got a wooden spoon that my boss at work gave me that's a little thicker, like a baseball bat. Oh. All right, so then we're just going to mix the dough. So we're just gonna mix this together. Sometimes you might have to add a little extra liquid and that's totally fine. This looks like it might, and I like to just squeeze the dough to see kind of, I think this will be all right. So then just, what we're gonna do is add flour. And we're just gonna turn it out on our board. I'm just gonna add a little bit of flour to my board. And and we're just going to gather it together. We're just going to gather it together and give it a few quick kneads. You don't want to overwork this, but you have to kind of get it to come together. So I'm just going to proceed. I usually do about, again, in the buttermilk video, there is my method that I usually knead my biscuits 15 times and no more. But sometimes you have to punt. I'm gonna knead this a little more. So it might be a little tougher, but you know what? We're gonna have stew tonight, so it'll be great for dipping. So we're gonna just knead until it kind of comes into a ball. Okay. So most traditional Irish soda breads are this kind of round shape, okay? So at this point, we are going to set it aside and we're going to bring our Campfire Dutch oven over to where we are kneading our dough. It goes right here. And I just want to show you a little bit about Dutch ovens. Typically for a kitchen, have just a lid on them. They're like usually enamel cast iron. This is plain old cast iron, and we use this out on our campfire. We put our dough inside here, and then this lid has a lip around it, if you can see, and that is to hold the coals. And I'll show you how we do that when we get back out to the fire. So what we're gonna do is just to be, usually cast iron is completely non-stick. It's really awesome. But just to be on the safe side, I'm just gonna give the inside a quick spritz with some hand spray. And, okay. Let's check here. All right, so last thing we do before we go to the fire is we put our dough right inside there, okay? And traditionally, knife across is cut into the top. So this is different reasons for that. So we can allow the dough to expand because it's a quick bread and it really does poof up. But it's also a blessing on the bread for a good rise and maybe hopefully good fortune and happiness to the family upon whose table it graces. All right, so I'm just gonna go across with my knife, one way like that, and then I'm gonna go across the other way like that. Okay. All right, so there we have our loaf ready to go on the fire. So come along with me outside, back to the fire, and let's enjoy the beautiful sun and let this guy cook for about 30 minutes. And you can keep checking on it. Just be sure and use some kind of a device to pick up the lid because it'll be hot. So here we go. So there you go. Your own beautiful Irish soda bread baked on the campfire in the cast iron Dutch oven with hot coals and a little thyme. So traditionally, caraway seeds and raisins are added to the Irish soda bread, but I prefer to have mine plain. We're having beef stew tonight, and so I'm gonna serve this with our beef stew, and then I'm gonna make a fresh loaf on the 17th for the Feast of St. Patrick. So one thing I did omit to tell you is that if you put your cast iron Dutch oven on the coals for a few minutes before you put your dough in there, it will already be sort of preheated, if you will. My loaf took about 45 minutes to bake because I was putting it into a cold cast iron Dutch oven for the demonstration purposes. Either way is gonna work. So you don't have to worry. You can bake this in the oven, 350 degrees for about 30 minutes, or when it ends up looking like this, a beautiful golden brown with a nice hollow bottom, or hollow sound when you knock on the bottom. So I want you guys to go out and enjoy the wonderful time of year we have right now. Looking forward to the Feast of St. Patrick on the 17th of March, and drink the green beer and drink the whiskey and enjoy life, because life is for living. And I am so fortunate to have you guys along for the ride. If you'd like to share this video before St. Patrick's so your friends can make their own loaf of bread, I would love that. So at any rate, thank you for visiting. Big hugs. Sláinte. Bye-bye. Yeah. Okay, try it again. It's like zoom, zoom, zoom. Where's everyone going? Let's wait for the traffic to pass. Traffic. Beautiful time of year.